We've seen multiple videos talking about the top Excel functions you should use. But what about the Excel functions that you will probably never use or even find useful? In this video, I'm going to go over 5 Excel functions that you probably never heard of without typing out each letter of the alphabet directly in the Excel worksheet or looking directly at the help menu for a list of functions available. The first obscure function is the botx function. Now, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of the function, but for the purpose of this video, we'll just say it as botx. The botx function, like with everything else in this list, has a very specific use case that converts a number into Thai text and adds bot to the end of the text. It basically converts a number into a Thai currency. So this is how you use this function. I'm going to go to cell B2 here, and I'm going to type out equals to B, and we have the botx function appearing the first thing on the list. So if I do tab, we only require one argument here, which is the number that we're referencing, and I'm going to select this cell in this table. So since we have a table here, when I press enter, it's going to fill the function down to the last row automatically. So I'm going to press enter, and we get the Thai currency equivalent of these numbers here in column B. From my research, aka ChatGPT, it is common to write the financial amounts in Word for legal and financial documents. So outside of Thailand, you'll probably never use these functions for your work. Next on the list is the Roman function. The Roman function converts a number into Roman numeral, and this function will work for any numbers between 0 and 3999. If you use this function on a decimal, then the decimal will be treated as an integer. And this function will also return a value error if you use it on a negative number or any other characters, which I'll be showcasing here. So let's get this started by typing out in cell B2 equals to Roman, and we get the text here converts an Arabic numeral to Roman as text. So I'm going to do tab, and we have two arguments here, the number and the form, which is an optional argument. And the second argument just tries to like simplify the Roman numerals whenever possible, but it won't really come up that much. So I'm going to select the cell as the first argument, and comma, let's say that we want to simplify it in between like the numbers 0 and 4. Let's say we do it like as classic mode only, and I'll close this out, and I'm going to press enter, and we get the Roman numerals here. Now we got the correct Roman numerals up to this row here, but the value 0 is going to show no values, and in row 16 we have negative 657, which is value error. This number is greater than 3999, so that's going to be a value error. This isn't even a number, same with this. And this is just a white space where I just like included a space, extra space here, which is going to be a value error. So let's say we wanted to try to like simplify this text even more. We can go to the second argument here and do for the most simplified and press enter. And we get a shorter version of the Roman numeral for 3999. But you'll notice that the other numbers didn't change because it's not really possible. And I also included a decimal number here. It shows 58.76, but the function will just like round it down and find the Roman numeral for something like 58, or just cut off the decimal point here. The reverse of the Roman function is the Arabic function. This function basically returns the number from a Roman numeral. So in cell B2, I'm going to type out equals to Arabic, and we have the description converts a Roman numeral to Arabic, and press tab, and it's only one argument this time, the text. So I'm just going to reference the Roman numeral here and press enter, and we get back all the numbers from the Roman numeral. And this function is probably more flexible than the Roman function because you can go past numbers that's greater than 3999. And we have the blank cell here, which is going to represent number 0, and we have this very large Roman numeral here, which is greater than the 3999 limit that we had before. The next function is one that you might have no idea how to use, and that is the areas function. The areas function is very weird in how you enter the arguments. So I have these ranges here that is highlighted in yellow, highlighted in green, and highlighted in this color here. And I'm in this cell, I'm going to type out equals to areas, and we get this description returns the number of areas in a reference, and area is a range of contiguous cells or a single cell. And you still might have no idea what that means, as I didn't really understand the meaning behind this until I had to like watch a video on it. So I'm gonna do tabs, And you have this argument here called reference. And let's say that we try to like select a range here like this, and we press enter. We get back the number 1, and that's because it's gonna count each range or each range that you select as a single unit and then add up those ranges together or those units together. So as a example, I'll type out equals to areas again. I'm gonna put in another open parentheses here, and I'm gonna select this range here and then do a comma, and then select this range here, single cell here, do a comma, and you select the last highlighted region here, and then close this out, and then do another close parentheses. And if we press enter, it's gonna treat each range here as like a single unit, and then it's gonna add up all the units together to get 3. So if I press enter, we get back the number 3. So they basically added each range that we selected. That's basically an overview on like how to use this areas function. It's very weird in how you enter the argument value, and there might be like very specific use case for like when you want to use this function. Finally, we have a mathematical function that is rare to see in the field of mathematics, the fact double function. This function is related to the real-life mathematical concept of double factorials. In high school math, we learned about permutations and factorials. Basically, if we have something like 6 factorial here, where there's an exclamation point in front of the number, then the operation would look something like equals to 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and press enter, and we get back 720. A double factorial would be something like this, where there's 2 exclamation points in front of the number, and the way you would calculate this number is you would do equals to 6 times 4 times 2 to get 48. When you have an even number, you're decrementing the number by 2 and multiplying each sequence together until you reach the number 2. Let's say that you have an odd number like 7 double factorial here. Then you would decrease the number by 2 and multiply each sequence together until you reach 1. So the operation would go equals to 7 times 5 times 3 times 1, and we get back 105. If you understand what the function does, then it is very easy to use. You can just type out equals to fact double, returns the double factorial of a number, and side note, this fact function returns the factorial of a number, which was the same case in cell A1 here. But we're going to be using this function, tab, and we just have to enter like a single number. So we can enter 6, and if we press enter, we get back the same number 48. We can do the same thing for the 7 here, equal to fact double, and input the number 7, press enter, and we get back 105. Let's try to do like a negative number instead. So if we do equals to fact double, do like -6, and we get back a num error, since we can't really like calculate the negative numbers for these type of stuff. But if we do equals to fact double of 0, we get back 1 instead. So that's it for some Excel functions that you might never use. Excel has plenty of functions that wouldn't be relevant for your day-to-day work. So I might make more videos on this in the future. In the meantime, if you want to know some basic Excel concepts and functions that everyone should know, then definitely check out this video I made before where I go over that in more details. If you guys found this video to be helpful, then please like and comment down below what else you'd want to see. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.